Hi, I'm live. Happy Monday. I thought I'll pop up a little bit early today because I got a ton of work to do and I've not even started yet, but I thought I'll show up a bit early. I just want to take you back a little bit to yesterday because yesterday, I spoke about doors and walls. But something happened in yesterday evening, which I think actually pertains a little bit to what I was talking about. And I just really want to tell you a story about what happened. So basically, roughly about, I think it must have been about, actually not long after I'd done the live yesterday, about 10 minutes after, I had the gate bell rang, and yeah, like I'm thinking this is like 7:30, 7:45 at night. It's dark outside. Who on earth's going to be ringing the gate bell? So I went upstairs to look at the intercom, to look through, and like literally answered the gate, and it was this man on the other side of the gate. And he was, and I was like, I've never seen this man before, don't know who he is, don't know why he's knocking on my gate at that time of night, bearing in mind it's dark outside. And so I'm like, well, hello, who are you? What do you want? And he started to talk, and he's like, oh, I'm going to call him Bob because I don't like talking about people and not giving their names, and obviously I don't want to give you his name, so I'm going to give him the name of Bob. So sorry to all the Bobs out there, it's not you. He's not actually called Bob, but I'm going to give him the name of Bob. So Bob, basically, he looked really kind of like agitated, and that kind of like set fear in my being, and I was afraid. Even though I was in my house and he was behind a gate, I was afraid. And all kind of thoughts came to my mind because I'm thinking, well, is he trying to get into my house? What's he doing there? Why is he asking me for all this information? So he was asking me for information, which, I can't give you information to a stranger that I don't know, I've never met, and literally the story you're giving to me doesn't give me any level of comfort. But in this period of time, because of my fear, I didn't know what to do. And even though, like I said, I was in a home and he was outside behind the gate, it didn't stop me from feeling threatened, and like all I wanted to do was for him to go away. And the intercom kept, because the intercom has got 2-second window, and it'll come on and then it'll come off, and he kept buzzing it every single time it came off, and he kept buzzing it to then continue the conversation. And I remember saying, well, why don't you just leave your details and let me know, and let me know what you want, and just put it in the letterbox, and tomorrow morning I'll pick it up. And he's like, well, I can come back later. And I'm like, come back later? Like, it's almost 8 o'clock. Like, who wants to turn up at your house at a later point in time? And I'm like thinking, I don't know what to do. So I managed to get him to go, which he did do. But because of my level of fear, and because all of a sudden I didn't feel safe in my own home, I picked up the phone to people that I trusted, and I spoke to them, and I said, this is the situation, this is the incident, what should I do? Did I do it correctly? Was that the right thing to do? And they gave me a level of comfort to say, yes, exactly what you did, that was fine. And then I spoke to the actual person he was proclaiming to know, to say, do you know this guy? Because he just called me, or he just came to the house And he was asking all these questions that I could not answer. Do you know him? And that was the point when I got reassured that everything was going to be okay, you know? And at that point, I felt safe again. All my fears went away and I was okay. Because the person to which had all the answers, you know, was able to give me a level-headed understanding of what the situation was. And I was like, oh yeah, okay, I get it now. Like, you know, although it was a threat, or I felt it was a threat to me, it wasn't actually a threat to who I was. It wasn't a threat to where I was. It wasn't a threat to the home, my house. It wasn't a threat at all. It was just that I did not have the knowledge. And having the knowledge would have now enabled me to be able to handle the situation in the best manner. But at that point, I felt, thank God for the gate. Thank God for the gate. Because, you know, the gate being there allowed me to filter. And the gate being there allowed me to go to trusted people and speak to them. It gave me that window. The gate being there allowed me to go to the person whom Bob proclaimed he had the relationship with and get the truth, you know? And that's how God works in our lives, because, you know, I don't know whether this resonates with anybody, but, you know, I've been in situations where people have said some horrible things about me, things that have not been true, things that have brought fear, things that have made me cry, things that have made me doubt who I am, things that have made other people look at me in ways which are not great. And if I had let those people in, you know, so if I'd opened the gate, so to speak, and if I'd let those people in, then the impact that could have had on my life would have been like catastrophic, you know. But because I chose not to let those thoughts come in or those people come in, and I went to the actual person who had the actual truth about me, which is God. You know, he has the actual truth about me. He's known me since I was, even before I was in my mother's womb, he knew me. And because I can go to him and I can ask the questions and he gives me the actual answers, and he tells me what I was created for and how I've been created and how he loves me and who I am. And because I listen to him, I can feel safe. You know, and I just really wanted to share that story with you, because when that situation happened to me yesterday, it kind of really brought home, you know, how God is in my life. And, you know, and I talk a lot about, you know, people putting their hearts in God's hands. And I feel this is like an example of what happens when you do put your heart in his hands, because he helps you to see situations through his eyes and helps you to see how everyday scenarios are a representation of the things that he does in our lives. And like, you know, when that situation happened to me yesterday, the fear that I felt is likened the same kind of fear when people say things to you that you'll never amount to anything, or you can't do this, or you know, you are not capable. When people say those kind of things to you, they have a big impact on you. And unless you have a place to go to for where you can hear the truth the actual truth about you, you can be put in bondage. You can, you know, you can be hurt so much, and hurts are real big things. So I don't know, like, I don't know, I'm just talking. I'm just talking today, I'm just talking. I'm just sharing a little bit about things that happened to me. You know, I've not just arrived, and I am still on a journey. And, you know, where I am today is a result of me putting my heart in God's hands. And, you know, it has been, and it still is, a massive journey. But yeah, I just thought I'd share that story and just see if it, you know, if it resonates with anybody. But if you're going through any hurt, or if people have hurt you because you've allowed them in, because you haven't had that gate, I want you to know that you may not have a physical gate, but you've got a spiritual gate. You've got a spiritual gate to stop anyone from penetrating, anybody's words from penetrating. And you can use that, you know, and you can use that as a buffer to then go to God and ask God, like, you know, is this the truth? And ask God to show you the truth, and he will show you the truth. Because he wants to. Why? Because he loves you. Why? Because you're his child. Because he knew you before you were in your mother's womb, just like he knows me inside out. There's nothing about me that... He knows way more about me than I know about myself. 100%. He does. So, yeah. I think that's it for today. I just thought I'd come and share. Anyway, have a blessed day, and just know that God loves you, you know, and there's no better place for your heart to be than in his hands. So if that's you today, just consider placing your heart in his hands and see how he's going to transform you and move you from where you are now to where he's always known you were meant to be. Take care, guys. Bye. Love you.